There we are.
Hi, I'm Linda Deir, and
And I'm Ray Holley. Welcome to Zoom.
yes, our new platform. We're so excited about this. Now, how do we see if these guys are on, Ray?
Well, they're going to show up in this little, right there, right there.
Okay,
They're
so
crowding in the door like a Who concert.
what we want to do, you guys, is when you come in, say hi. Open up the Q&A box and tell us you're there, all right? Then we'll be able to open it up and take and talk with you, all right? Okay. Each week in Linda's weekly guided insights, I ask my guides, what's the most important thing for you to know right now? We channel these insights the same way your guides interact with you in a personal angel coaching session with me. All coaching sessions are done with you on live video or over the phone. I'm the author of Guided, winner of the 2017 Body, Mind, Spirit Book Award. And my guided journey is the companion journal to Guided. It's my fourth book, and this is the work in progress version that's available for free on my website, lindadeir.com. It's going to be published in the next month on Amazon, so keep your eye out for that. We'll also be letting you know about that. Tonight, the guides will be answering your questions about what do you, Meghan Markle, and Cinderella have in common. This was published today in Linda's weekly guided insights. As I'm reading the insight, listen to the messages you will be getting. Feel what that feels like. Write your realizations into part 3 of my guided journey. This is all guidance. After I finish reading this insight, we will be taking your questions and comments. You will be getting to talk directly to your guides about what this insight means in your life. Write down what you get from that communication into part 3 of your journal, all right? Okay, so here's the insight. What do you, Meghan Markle, and Cinderella have in common? Nothing. You might be surprised. Can you imagine moving beyond the limitations and roadblocks in your life, like the limitless life of a princess? As the classic Cinderella story tells it, it was only possible because of the connections she had in the other world. That's the world you came from and where you always have help when you need it, when you ask for it. Meghan Markle did not have it easy as she pursued her acting career. She lived frugally and did odd jobs between acting roles. She worked hard and kept a positive attitude as she learned and grew. Then, one day, a friend arranged a blind date with her and Prince Harry. Her magical world was now in motion. Cinderella and Linda Deir experienced child abuse from their stepmother, mother, and siblings. Their father let them down. They were treated like servants who had no value in this world. Despite these horrendous conditions, these girls stayed true to themselves. It was helpers from beyond this world who stepped in and transformed their lives. This was only possible because they never gave up on themselves. In an instant, their lives were changed forever. Here are 2 questions for you. Have you been listening for your guidance? Have you been writing it in your journal? Are you ready to upgrade your life despite all the obstacles? Rather than connecting with how this really works in your life, society sends you the message that it's out of reach for you. The attention given to the royal wedding exposed this fault in our society. Every little girl grows up wanting to be a princess, or at least feel like one. This is ingrained in them in their early life by going to princess parties and Disney productions. This reinforces the idea of this lifestyle and what it feels like if only your prince will show up to save you. Providing a home, your castle, a beautiful car, your carriage, beautiful clothes, and all the privileges of a charmed life. It's all reinforced by advertising, gossip, and glamour of celebrities and royal families, things people can't seem to get enough of. Did you recognize the parallels between the Cinderella story and Guided? This connection between these two stories is surviving a hopeless childhood with help from beyond this world. Both girls kept this beautiful secret to themselves. Cinderella's fairy godmother and Linda's spirit guides and angels were their only lifeline in this world, guiding them to a better life. A much better life than they could have done on their own. They both overcame the odds because of two things. They were able to access their guidance and take action on it while it was still valid. These are not just rags to riches stories. They are stories of what appeared to be hopeless situations. And because of the help they received, they rose above it all to a life of happiness. All possible from help from forces beyond this world. These stories are about moving from a repressive childhood into an unlikely happiness. A total awakening because of this connection. Both endured constant assaults from their mothers and siblings, physical, mental, and emotional abuse. In that repressive situation, they both had no value in this world. The opposite of what the guides and fairy godmother saw in these girls. So what is your idea of a fairy tale life? A better life than you have been able to create on your own. Do you listen to your guidance and act on it so it can become a reality? Cinderella, with her fairy godmother fast at work on her behalf, never stepped into doubt. That is why she was able to rise above her dismal situation, allowing for the possibilities to present themselves. Neither one of these girls ever accepted their demeaning plight. They always knew they were connecting to something bigger than just this world. Believing in yourself is the key. Only then will you be able to, first, make this connection, and second, take action on this time-sensitive guidance. Once you have this solid connection to us, guidance becomes the fundamental feeling that keeps you connected to us. Pay attention to the guidance coming through. Write it in your journal. This will be the fast track to reconnecting with us now, so you too can live a better life than you could have done on your own. Summary. You can't chase this better life. It comes to you at the perfect time, but you must be open to it. Meghan Markle, Cinderella, and Linda believed in themselves even when life was difficult. That is why they didn't miss it when it did show up. Gratitude is the main ingredient, keeping you in the present moment so you don't miss our guidance. How it works. These magical moments are consistently showing up. They don't just happen to a select few. It happens to everyone. If you are not experiencing them, then you are missing it. You miss it because you are expecting something else. The fix is easy. Breathe. Stop expecting or insisting that it has to be a certain way, a certain thing, or person. Guidance rarely gives you what you expected. Now, in the Q&A box located at the bottom of the page, we will be looking for your questions and comments about what this insight triggers in you. Ray will open the mic so you can talk with us and the guides. Your spirit guides and angels will be answering your questions and comments. All right, Ray.
And I posted all the links they're ever going to need in the chat box.
You did great.
I
Ray.
did.
So you've got everything. Instead of me mentioning all that, we're doing it a little bit more streamlined. So you'll just find them right there, whatever you want to click on. And Ray did a beautiful job.
Over on the right-hand side, you'll see all the links that we put up every week.
And what this session is about at the very top. All right.
Right. Now, for you folks who are out there on Facebook wondering where we are and why you can't interact with us, just
look for the link.
Look for the link
above the video.
Above the video and above the little Zoom insignia, and it'll have a link in there where you can join us.
Click on it. It'll take you straight to Zoom. Sign in, and you can join us. All right.
You can talk. We can see you.
Right. Tell your friends. Tell your friends about what we do every week here Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
So let's see who we have.
All right.
Jane.
Hi,
Jane.
She's the first one.
Jane was the first one here.
Jane, you're the first one.
Joy Howard.
Joy, you're number 2 here.
Judy P. Judy, you might be new. Welcome.
Judy sounds new. Hi,
and
Judy.
Veronica Baca.
Veronica, we love all you guys. Thank you for coming.
So there we go. We're getting some activity in that Q&A box. Let's see if this works. See if those guys in the control room can get this to work right. Jane said hi. Joy said hi. Jane said, so glad to be here. What do my guides want me to know right now?
Now, who said this?
Jane.
Jane. Okay, Jane. What it's going to relate to is the theme for today, you know? And I'm pretty sure Jane gets Linda's weekly guided insights, so she knows what this is about and heard me read it, right? From now on, I'm going to read the insights on these sessions. I used to just read an excerpt from the insight, and I don't think a lot of people connected with that. So, yeah. Oh, Jane. Oh, my God.
Hi.
Oh, my God. Hi,
Hello.
Jane.
I'm a real person, and I'm not a robot on the computer. This is pretty neat. I like this. This is cool. This is fun.
So when you're talking, you're going to see a little yellow box around you.
See that?
It just knows who's talking. How does it do that?
It's brilliant. I really like this platform. This is cool.
This is great. Is that the highest your volume will go, Ray?
No, I can get it up.
Get it up higher because I can't hear her.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and talk, Jane.
Well, first, thank you for having me. This is really cool. This is awesome. I love seeing you guys, and I like to be here as often as possible. It's going to be great to see the others on here also and interact live with you. I do like the theme today. You also mentioned something on the earlier Facebook post about limitations, I think.
Right.
But I really like this theme today.
Okay,
really
good.
Struck a chord.
Good. Okay, Jane. You are so brave. I love the brave ones. What do you want to know about regarding this theme? What did it trigger in you?
I have been pursuing my fairy tale life, and I've only recently realized that is ridiculous and that I shouldn't be pursuing it, that I should be chilling out, doing what's fun for me, following that guidance, because the best things in my life really do just happen. And I know that the timing is divine. I can see that in the best things that have happened to me in my life. I didn't make it happen. I just let them happen. So I that's what it triggered in me. And I guess what I hoping the guides can elaborate on that, or maybe my guides can tell me
That's really,
where I'm limiting myself.
I love it. I love it. You left it open. You didn't close it in. You didn't lead the question. That's right. That's how you do it. And Jane, always, always, always use your journal and write in there what you're feeling, what you think is guidance, even if you think you're not sure if it's guidance, write it in there and date it in part 3 and look back at it in a day from now.
You know what? I'll tell you, I was doing that so consistently for a while, and then I took a break and I didn't get back to it. I said, oh, I got this. I don't need to write it anymore. But that's not true. So I promise I'll get back to it.
It's good.
You're not the only one who does that. You know those 18 videos that we have, one video for each page in part 2?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people watched the first one, and then a few less people watched the second one, and then a few less people watched the third one. So what we learned is that everybody seemed to get the first one, the fear one. That's page 1.
Yeah.
But as they went on, they felt less sure of themselves.
I think they kind of got lost. And that's really what this is about too. We help these guys, we help you, we help everybody. Any question you have around that also, while we're working on these themes each week, we want to work with you on that. Okay. So wherever you get hung up and need to move through that, so.
And one thing about the videos, I mean, they're each one an hour long. So it's hard for somebody to sit down and watch 18 hours of videos.
Yeah.
And we suggested just watch the one you're working on. But when the deluxe published version comes out in about a month
of My Guided Journey,
it includes 18 MP3s. Linda pulled out the video or the soundtracks and made them into MP3. So now you can take them with you on your phone.
That's good.
Yeah, you take them with you when you're working out or walking the dog.
There's something about an audio track where when you listen to the audio track, it's like a movie for the mind. You can see where you fit into it. It's good,
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, and that's going to be included. It's going to be $5.99 for anybody that just buys the MP3s, but the book's going to be $10.99. So why not get the journal?
Absolutely.
With, the whole thing. It's for okay. So Jane, back to your question. Let's clear the air here, and let's get back to that question about go.
Okay. So what do my guides want me to know about letting things flow into my life rather than trying so hard as I've known to do?
That's good. I couldn't say it better, and that's exactly right. And it's not leading. And like always, breathe. Always that's the first thing we do is breathe. That excess out, that resistance out, that stress out from the day, and breathe life back into our bodies, Wow. After a long weekend even, we still need to do that, right? Just like writing in that journal, you can't miss the breath, right, Jane? All right, your spirit guides and angels, they're here with us now, Jane, and they're going to talk to you about this, and here they go.
Hello, Jane. It's nice to see you.
To see you.
What is the difference between trying to achieve something and allowing it to just happen? When you are chasing something, you see it off in the distance and have already formulated some type of outcome that you desire. It's like in your dreams, you saw your future life and you honed in on what you saw. However, when it doesn't show up or takes a long time to show up, you get discouraged and even start to doubt yourself. You start asking yourself negative questions. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough to attract my prince? If you stop thinking and doubting and accept who you are at any time in your life as being perfect in the moment, you will change the energy you are putting out and start to attract other people who vibrate at your level.
Okay. And that's the key, by the way. You start attracting people that vibrate at your level. Think about that.
You nailed it.
How do you feel that you've been vibrating?
Off and on. Sometimes I'm there and sometimes I'm not.
Okay. I'm breathing more here. I feel like if you just were to, when you breathe, it's acceptance. You're good with everything that's going on because you're letting life in. You're not protecting yourself. You're not resisting anything. It's not filled with resistance. So, and you feel it right here. You feel where you're getting jammed back up again. It's right in here. And when you breathe, you feel that whole thing just release in this area. If you just practice that, so you're not doing this anymore, this yo-yo thing, right? And you're more in tune than you're out of tune. If you just do that one thing, you'll notice a difference in what you're attracting to you. Because you attract to you what you're doing,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it's a challenge. It's a
it's
challenge
always
for
a
me.
challenge. Yeah. If it was easy, Jane, everyone would do it. It wouldn't be a challenge for anybody. So we come here in this life. We come here to learn these things. We come here to become masters at this. But we have to, we mix ourselves up in this world and we get kicked around and thrown off course and we forget to breathe and we start chasing stuff. And I mean, we do all the things, all the things that we have to learn when we come here. And we know it. You see, you're here with us tonight because this part of you knows this. And it knows that this part of you it's messing it up. All right. It still has some things to learn. So that's.
This isn't actually a new way of learning. It's more a new way of remembering. Because you remembered all this stuff when you came here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before the amnesia,
Okay. I'm going to use an example. I'm hoping this will help you. I remember the first success when I got out of the house and it was a couple years later and my whole life just took off. Cinderella, right?
Linderella.
It just took off. Everything I touched, it was a magic, all right? What happened is, here's how that happened. I talk about it in my flagship book, Guided, but I'll talk to you about it in a way where it's like I lived it, just, the way it happened in short. And I look back at it, I didn't expect anything. I wasn't used to expecting anything, was I? Not coming from that childhood, I wasn't. And when I just got to do all this stuff, I was so excited. It didn't matter if it was work. To me, I wasn't afraid of work. I had already been working all this time. As a kid, that's what I did. I worked all the time. I cooked, I cleaned, I sewed. I did everything. I kept the yard up. I did everything, all right? Cinderella. And but I had a good attitude about it because I got away from those guys, those family members, and I got to be in my world, where I live and with my guides. And I got that intuition and that insight all the time. And so when I got out of the house, and it took me a couple of years, I had a baby, all this stuff, and I was getting my bearings underneath me. This stuff all showed up, and I was on it. There was no such thing as, I can't do it. I've never done it. How do I do it? I didn't hesitate one bit. I was in the game, okay, all in. And yeah, people would say, Linda, you're taking really big chances. What happens if it doesn't work out and you have to file bankruptcy? I don't know. I never thought about that. In other words, my point to you, Jane, is if there's any fear in there, if anybody, if people from out in this outer world is the one that instilled that fear in there, that got us moving that way. And if there's anything, reckon your party, anything in there, any, dialogue going on.
There is.
Okay, that's telling you that you're not good enough. You can't do it. Not right now. It's
Right. Not right now is a big one for me.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got to listen to this. This does not lie. And you've got to remember to write it back into your journal in part 3.
Okay.
And keep this going, because this is part 3 is your lifeline. When your life goes completely out of whack, you pull this back out and you look back into part 3, then you start reading, putting the dots together. Okay, yeah, yep, yeah. Okay, and that's where I am right now. And you know what, you guys, you son of a guns, I'm not going to let you do this to me. No, you're not going to let fear have you. It will keep you from doing the same things you used to do. All right,
okay.
That knee-jerk response, that fear trigger, that set you off in the wrong direction. I can only tell you that, and the reason I brought up that first success I had when I first got free from my childhood is, number one, I didn't expect it. I didn't see that coming. And number two, I wasn't afraid of anything. No fear. Maybe didn't even have any sense in a way. But that was good, because I didn't let all these adults, these people that were 10 and 15, 20 years older than me, convince me that I was stepping too far, too fast, and I had guidance. So I'll tell you what I did listen to is when they came through and said, it's time to get in, I was in. When they said it was time to get out, and I was smoking, I'm hot. I was going full bore. And they said, oh, game over, the thing's going to crash, get the heck out, sell all your stuff and get out. I'm like, oh man, that's a drag. I mean, what?
You were having fun.
You can't imagine.
Okay, well, you're telling me no? Okay, but you know what I knew? I knew they knew. I knew it. And I said, oh, jeez. So I'm moving, now I'm going from this direction, wham, I'm going into this direction now. And I knew it. And I got out literally just a couple months before the whole thing crashed.
I love that story so much.
God, and I can only say that when you have this connection to your guides, and you see, when you follow that, you track it, you write it down, you got to be true to yourself. That's what this is. And that's why I wrote this. That's why this is there. It's so you guys you got it. There's nothing that can get in your way. You keep track of yourself. And when you feel yourself go into those negative emotions or those doubts, you pull your journal back out and you read your story. Not somebody else's story, you read your own. And you're not going that way. In fact, you turn your whole self around energetically, and you're not sinking anymore. You're staying true to yourself. You're staying right on track, and you're true north. True north is the direction your guides are guiding you. Now, you could be off a little bit or a little bit, but not way out here, okay? And this will keep you from doing, and this will bring you your fairy tale life. It really will. But you know what, Jane? You have to be open to what you're not expecting. The last thing I expected was to be an architect, a home builder, a general contractor, I owned construction company that was monumental at that time. And I never expected that I'd be going into these GC general contractors, you know, offices and cutting deals with them.
That's awesome.
1,000 apartment complexes. I was 21 years old. All right. How did I learn how to do all this? You know, I had no education in any of it. I knew exactly what to do. And I knew how to deal with these guys when it was time to get our pay on, because when they didn't have their pay, our pay to pay our payroll each week for our carpenters, we had a $30,000 a week payroll in the early 70s.
Wow.
And when they told me they didn't have that check, I would go, many times I talked about it and got it. I'd go out, I'd have that moment with myself. I wouldn't panic, and I would just, you know, let it come through.
Is that what you did?
Yes.
You grounded and centered,
Yes.
and then waited for the guidance?
Yes.
I need to do that more. Sometimes.
Here's what I didn't do. I didn't panic.
Right.
See,
and jump right in. Mm-hmm.
Right. When I was 20 months old and my mom almost killed me, and I panicked. And
you can remember the panic?
Oh, I remember I remember the smells. I remember everything about it, Jane. And I panicked. I was scared. It was shocking that I was still in this world. I thought I was out of here, you know? And when I realized I was still here, I was like, I couldn't believe I was still here. It was the worst feeling in the world.
Wow.
And that's when I asked out loud for help, for someone to help me. And my guides all showed up. When I asked for that help, I released the panic for that moment, and bang, they were there. All right. So that's how I learned that. I learned that at 20 months old when they came to my rescue. So when I was an adult and things went down and they went against me, I went, I breathed. I didn't panic. And the answers came. The guidance came. All right. And you know what? I got paid every single time.
Or else.
No, I got paid every single time. I walked in there. I was a non-threatening girl.
and you made it happen.
No, I didn't have a hard hat, right?
Hard hat on?
And I walked in there and I was really nice to these guys. And I'd go, you know, I understand that you can't pay us, you know, but I don't know how much the carpenters are going to understand that when I tell them that. And since they know where you live, I'll tell you what I'm going to tell my carpenters. I'm going to tell them to come to your house and you can explain it to them.
That's right? Wisdom.
That was like, how could I think that up? I was a kid. How could I think that up? Okay.
It's very persuasive.
I
have one more question for you.
What's that?
I have one more question for you. When you received your guidance, or when you do receive your guidance now, because I'll tell you, for me, sometimes I know for sure, you know, because I feel it, or I kind of get like an impression or something. A very rare occasion, I might hear a word, hear, air quotes, hear. It's not really hearing. It's like a word comes to mind, like boom, I know I didn't put that there. And I hope that's going to get even stronger over time. What is your feedback on that?
Okay, what's still happening with you is you're still surprised by it.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so as long as you're still surprised by it, you're not really connecting with it. All right?
That's disappointing. But okay.
Yeah, I understand. But I got to tell you like it is, and I will always tell you like it is, and I'll tell you where you're missing it. But you're not missing it. You're just kind of, it's there, but it's just kind of sweeping by a little bit. Okay, so you're there, all right? But you've got to use this, Jane. This will be tethered to you when you're driving a car to go somewhere, and that guidance comes through, right? Because you got to write it right in there. And the way that you're driving your car, you can't write it right in there right now. So
I use my iPhone. I use my iPhone, you know. Remind me that.
Speak it into your iPhone.
That's a good choice. Yeah. But another way, like say you're in the shower and it comes through. You know how that happens?
Still use the iPhone there too, but I get your meaning. There will be times where I will not have my phone.
If you say out the keywords in the guidance, so you can it's a trigger to remember the rest of it.
Okay.
You say it 3 times out loud while you're in the
Okay.
shower or driving
Okay.
or whatever, and say it 3 times out loud. Exactly
The keyword.
Yes, keywords. And then when you stop your car or you get out of the shower, you say those keywords and boom, you remember. It's like a dream. You remember the whole dream, right? You write it in
Gotcha.
you get your journal out and you start writing it in there.
Okay.
Waste no time because it'll dissipate quickly. The more that you do this, writing your dreams down is really critical.
Just started that.
Okay.
Literally.
I will
just
tell
started.
you. I will tell you that it's the dream work that I started in the mid 80s that really accelerated my pace with everything. It sharpened me up. I was sharp,
Really?
but it's like a switch that, is on and off, on and off, on and off. My switch was on all the time.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
And a lot of interesting, like fascinating, energetic things were happening with my guides, and teaching dreams started to come. Where in these lucid teaching dreams,
Cool.
where they would teach me, and the next night they'd pick up where they left off the night before.
Really cool.
Continued the curriculum. So this is the kind of thing that'll happen because they know that you're paying attention.
Got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now you've got to write those dreams down in your journal in part
I will.
3. Right. Okay. And keep it going. Jane, you're on your way.
Thank you.
You're welcome if you just follow these things. Okay.
Okay.
And you will have your Cinderella life. You will have your fairy tale life, but it's not going to be what you expected it to be. It's going to be.
Okay.
That's what you've got to be open to. Cinderella did not expect that to happen. All right. There's no way she saw that one coming. She didn't have any idea that was in her destiny. I did not see my life after childhood like it turned out to be. I didn't see that. Okay.
You couldn't have, could you?
No. In fact, my whole family was insulted by me.
What?
Yeah, the word insulted is the best word to describe it because they raised my 2 brothers to be successes. And they
In
raised
the construction business.
right.
Like your father.
Right. And they raised me to cook, clean, and sew, right?
Oh.
And I didn't get it. See, all my life that was what I was told. Linda, you don't get it. And I understand now that was a good thing.
Thank God you didn't. Mm-hmm.
Well, they never gave you any encouragement to do anything else but what they told you to do. Yeah, I made a couple notes here as you guys were talking there. One reason you were successful, you say not expecting things. Another reason you were successful is that you couldn't accept what was. You could not accept what everybody was telling you.
The dismal reality
Right.
they were showing me.
Right.
I couldn't. I just couldn't. And see, what gave me the foundation, Jane, it really goes back to this, and it's so important. This is so important, is when I met my guides at 20 months old, at that moment, when I was in that, mess with when my mom almost killed me, when that happened, and I saw what they saw when they saw me, the guides, I realized that this world was not all there was. It's like it lifted such a burden off of me.
I bet.
Imagine that. I want you to take that thought, and it is in this week's guided insight, Linda's weekly guided insight, where I actually say that, okay? That's actually in there. And that is so important to wrap your head around, that once you realize that this world is
It's not all there is. Mm-hmm.
Nothing here can mess you up. It can't dominate you. It can't throw you into a fear-based life. It can't keep you from being who you are, At the same time, it doesn't make you obnoxious either. It just lets you be who it is that came here to be and experience,
That's your secret weapon.
It really is.
Don't believe what they tell you, because what they're going to tell you is to make you one of the pack.
Yeah.
fit in, be part of the group. You know, the same group of friends you grew up with and went to high school with, maybe to college with, and you look at some of them and they're doing the same things they were doing in college and high
This
school
is
right
true.
now.
It's a life of compliance, and it's not the one that once you're done with this world and you're ready to be released from this life, that you feel like you're fulfilled from being here. That's the life you want to live. And if
That's
if
right.
you find yourself, and I've always said this, if I die in my tracks as I'm pursuing what I'm after, I'm all good with that, because that's why I'm here. I have no regrets about that.
It's
You know?
wonderful.
You do what you do it for yourself, but you do it for the world too. But if you're the only one left in this world that appreciates what you do, that's okay. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So make that connection, and you make
I
that
will.
connection, and the connection to your guides, it happens automatically. It's a byproduct. It's not something that you decide to pursue. It's all the other things that you do that align you with it, and it just happens.
All right.
Thank you.
Well,
You're welcome.
welcome.
And you're beautiful, Jane. You are.
You are too, Linda. I say that every week. You guys are gorgeous, both of you.
That's her secret superpower.
We love having you. We love having you.
All right, let's see who else is in our queue here. Jane? Okay.
How cool is this? Jane is our early adopter.
Yes, she was our early adopter. Okay. We got Joy and Judy. Oh, you know, everybody tonight, their name starts with J. So only people with J can come in. No, we're just kidding. Okay, we got Joy and Judy. Judy got knocked off Zoom, but now she's back. She had
Great.
to relog in.
Okay.
She wants to know what her guides have to say today to her. Now, that's kind of general, a little off topic, but let's try.
Is this Jane
This is Judy.
or Judy?
Judy P.
No, Judy. That's what I meant.
And then Joy's talking about she had a Cinderella life from a certain time, then her husband died. Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Right.
So Judy, try to refine. I know you may not, this is the first time I think you've joined us, you may not have read the
insight. The theme for tonight.
Every Tuesday we have a theme.
Yeah.
And we try to stick as close to it. Tonight it's the Cinderella life. Everybody has this dream of coming up as a princess and meeting their Prince Charming like Linda did.
You are the best. Ray's awesome.
That's my secret weapon, superpower, ultra charming.
The name of this theme for tonight is, what do you, Meghan Markle, and Cinderella have in common? And I read this insight at the early part of this live video, and it has to do with, like, Cinderella had her fairy godmother, right? I had my spirit guides and angels, and we both grew up in Cinderella, and I both grew up, and Meghan Markle even. She grew up she didn't have it easy in the beginning of her life. And
she was driving a $100 car. She had to get in and out of the hatchback to get in and out of the car.
Right. So she could honor herself. So she could do pursue acting. That's a long shot. And she did really well at it. So she never gave up on herself. She had dreams, and she went after her dreams. And even if she had to suffer some of the time, and she did live a frugal life, and she did not always have it easy. And Cinderella was abused. She came up from a life of child abuse, is what she grew up in, if you really break down the story of Cinderella. And that's the life I grew up in. And she came out, with flying colors, and so did I, because we didn't let those people beat us down. And our superpower was that Cinderella had her fairy godmother. I had my spirit guides and angels. So we had a connection. And that connection comes from where we came from, who we are, and not just letting this world, eat you alive. All right.
Don't believe what they tell you.
As it throws those daggers at you, This is who you are, and you're way more powerful than this. Okay. Although you have to bring these together, it's not, we didn't come here to live a fear-based lives. That's what we didn't come here to do. So your question would be lined up with that type of thought. So what is your question around that?
We're going to see here. We could bring you up on the screen here.
Yeah.
Judy P. I think you might have.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I think there you go.
There
you
she
are,
is.
I think you.
Oh,
Judy P. and
Can
Joy.
you hear me?
Joy, that's Joy.
Yeah.
Hi, Joy.
I can't. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah. Is it Judy? Is that you?
Yeah. I can't get the camera to work at the same time as the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Strangely.
Oh.
Yeah.
But can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can still hear
Okay.
you.
I don't know. I don't know how to. Sorry, I can't like show my face tonight.
Well, that's okay.
But it's really nice to see you all. I love your work, Linda and Ray. I think you're both so wonderful. I loved your book.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Judy. Leave a review, Judy.
I think I did. It was an
Thank you.
an audible review. I'll do another one. I
Thank you,
actually
Judy.
want to listen to it again.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your question, Judy?
Well, I feel like, it's interesting because I was attracted to, well, I wanted to come anyway tonight, but Cinderella is my favorite fairy tale. But I've never thought about it in the sense that she had, spirit guides and angels, of course, her fairy godmother,
Right.
guiding her the whole time. I never thought about that aspect of it. And I feel like in my life, I do know that I'm guided. I have a lot of moments where I just feel like there's miracles that happen to me, and at some points I trust the guidance that comes through. But lately I've been feeling kind of bogged down and doubting myself and wondering if it's really my intuition coming through or if it's just my ego. I think, that's maybe someplace where I'd like to have guidance tonight.
Okay.
If that's still relevant to.
Oh, yeah. It's good. Now, Judy, do you use My Guided Journey to write in?
I haven't printed it off yet, but it's
Okay.
on my list of things to do.
We're going to have this in on Amazon published in its full
Great.
version, the completed version.
About the middle of June.
Something
Okay,
like
perfect. Because my
Sometime in
printer's
June.
really old, so I can't. I
I
feel like
know.
I want to print it off, but
I
I'll wait for the book to come out.
Yeah. That's going to really help you. It's so important to write it all down. I talk about it in Guided where I journaled my whole life because I had so many things going on that had I not written them down, it was like I had my best friend. Mm-hmm. I had some place I could talk. I could, I could make sense of what was going on in my life, because anybody going through what I went through as a child, they may have thought that they were losing it. All right. And I was always I was always tuned into that. I was always careful that I checked in with myself all the time to make sure that I was on track, that I wasn't, it's just something I was aware of. And I lived around enough of these people, right? that I had to make sure I wasn't going down that road. I had my wits about me. So that journaling will really keep you connected and tuned in and on track, okay, and focused. So, okay, Judy. I love having their names there, by the way. It really helps me. Your guides are going to talk to you about where you have been missing it, why you have been missing it, and what you need to do to change that, okay? Because they're with you all the time. They see exactly what you're doing, all right?
Okay.
Your spirit guides and angels are here with us now, and they're going to answer that. Here they go, Judy.
Hello, Judy. We have some questions for you. When you receive guidance, do you like what you hear Always.
Okay. That's a question.
Not always. Yeah, sometimes I feel like, oh my God, this is so difficult to follow, really.
Okay. Ooh.
That's sometimes what happens for me, or I really just doubt. I'm like, really?
Okay. Okay. Now, it's because you're not hearing what you want to hear. All right?
That's
You know,
possible.
you know how people, okay, I got to share this with you. You know how people will say, I'm a seeker of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have all met people that say that, right?
Yeah.
Watch out for those people when they say that. Have you ever realized that?
No.
The person who says, I'm a seeker of the truth, and the more intense they are about making that statement, the more they have problems with accepting the truth when it comes through. Okay, Jack Nicholson. How does Jack Nicholson say it?
Yeah.
He goes,
You can't handle the truth.
right. That's right. So when you're getting information, like you said, you get information that what did you say that you don't like? How did you word it?
Yeah, if you don't like it. How do you feel when you don't like it? What do you do when you don't like it?
Okay, so I think Ray asked you, do you get or they came through and said, do you get information about?
Do you always like what you hear?
Right. Do you always like what you hear? That and the fact that you said no is extraordinary.
Right.
Because when you hear something you didn't expect, that is guidance all over the place. That is so pure. Please don't squander that and write it into part 3. That's like sitting down and getting a reading that's so accurate. It's the best. Okay, write it in there and date it. And if you have doubts about it because here's you might be going, well, yeah, I wrote it down, but it's not what I wanted to hear. So I have doubts about it. No, you don't. You don't have doubts about it. You have doubts about yourself. That's unrelated to the guidance that came through. They're different.
If people who say they get guidance and they like all the guidance they get, that's really them talking to themselves.
That's their ego. They're channeling.
It's their ego. Yeah, channeling their ego.
Okay, so you're getting guidance because you're not always getting what you want to hear.
And you know
That's awesome.
if it's you or your guides by the way you feel. I mean, if you feel wonderful every time you get guidance, it's probably not your guides all the time.
Yeah. Then you should question, wait a minute, is this guidance? But if you get a fair share of, yes, that feels really good, and oh, I didn't think I had to do all that work, or I didn't think I had to wait as long, or I want to hear that. Okay,
right.
Together, the good, the bad, the ugly, it all. You have to write it in your journal because you won't be able to see what it is until you connect the dots. You can't connect the dots until you write it down. All right?
Right.
So let's let them finish talking to her. You answered their question, and they're going to finish their thought with you. And here they go, Judy.
When you are receiving guidance, remember these 3 things. Write down what you heard. Write down how it made you feel. And then write down immediately what action, even a small action, you are going to take to move in the direction of the guidance.
Boom. That's it.
I think why I sometimes think that not that I don't like it always, but that I think, oh, this is not real, is because every now and then I'll receive what feels like quote unquote real guidance, because I will get a voice so surprising in my head that I just know, I know.
Right.
And then other times I'll ask for guidance and then I'll get answers, and I don't always have that feeling. It's pretty rare. So I know you say the guides are always with me, but I guess that's that. I just want to tell the guides that's why sometimes I feel like, is it really you, or is it,
Okay, so here, how is Judy doing with receiving guidance at this time in her life? And here they go.
She is a very good antenna.
Oh.
And we want you to know that when you hear the voices in your head, most likely it's your higher self.
Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And your higher self is connected to all of your guides.
Right.
They are like this all the time. Okay. So, Judy, you have to start writing these things down.
Yeah.
You're a fountain of guidance. You really are.
Yeah, pretty soon you'll be writing so fast you won't believe how it was there all the time.
It's going to be you're going to have this. You're going to have the journal, the published one when you get it. You're going to have it tethered to you because it's going to be. You're going to be just, floating in guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about both journals,
You already are.
the one you print off the website and the one that you're going to get on Amazon, is that if you run out of pages at page 3, you can go to the website and print more pages.
Just print as many as you want to keep that part 3 going, and it's free. We offer that for free. So it also comes with 18 MP3s to listen to take you through the journey in part 2. All right. All of this is going to accelerate your antenna. It's going to brighten it. It's going to sharpen it for all of you. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is this exciting, you guys? Do you have any?
It's so exciting.
Oh my God!
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So until I get the book, I should go to part 3. And I mean, is there like a question there that I can start working with right away?
You can print out. Just print out. Just to get the daily stuff going. Print out part 3, and you can print out the journal part. Where you do the journal writing, and that's where you're going to see it. It's brilliant the way this is laid out.
It walks you right through it.
It's awesome. And there's little things you fill out. You check the boxes, then you write in the guidance that you got or the dream that you got. Okay.
Or the event that happened, or the person who walked up to you, a total stranger walked up and said something to you.
Right. And you just know that was something sent to you, that messenger. And then you write in there how it felt and all this kind of stuff. And just put it in a little binder. I've got these little half-size binders, but you can put them in the larger binders or whatever, and just staple them together. Do anything, but start journaling.
Right. Start
your journal writing. And do you remember your dreams?
I do. I write them down all the time.
You are a cornucopia of getting and receiving this guidance. You need to, don't squander this. I will tell you this, that there's moments in people's lives, like certain times in our lives, when we're more charged up to act on this stuff, to really hone our skills in remembering our dreams, getting the guidance, what it felt like, acting on it, including all that in our lives, and then we have a life that works, not a life that's rigid and strangles us, really, But you've got this point in your life where you're white hot. You're at that point. All of you are at that point, or you wouldn't be here with us. You're at that point, and you've got to take action on it. You've got to, start writing it down, because you're not crazy. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, Linda, are you sure I'm not crazy? This will keep you from
ever asking yourself that question.
Yes, it will keep you from doubting yourself. And if you did veer off and kind of go out there, out of bounds a little bit, when you go back and you review what you wrote and you look through here and you see what you wrote, you're going to go, that wasn't a good day for me, and you're going to see, you're going to then know what that feels like. When you have those days, you're going to know what that feels like. And you're going to go, okay, I'm having one of those days, or everybody has them,
Mm-hmm.
So,
and since you remember your dreams and you can write them down when you wake up, ask your questions at night before you go to sleep. Ask your guides the questions that you have on your mind, and ask them to bring the answers to you in your dreams,
And you write it,
or the first thing in the morning.
and you write it in the journal. You write it on the page for the part 3. You date it, and you write the question right here. And you take that page and put it next to your bed, sleep, and have it sitting right there, and read the question before you're laying down. You read the question before you go to sleep.
Okay.
And then you go to sleep and leave it sitting right there with a pen.
And you get your answers.
You will get your answers. It just trust that that's going to work, and it'll start rolling out for all of you. For all of you.
Okay, that's interesting, because I think what I'm going to ask my guides tonight is what my dreams have been meaning, because the last couple of nights have been sort of disturbing dreams, and I haven't really been wanting to look at them because I'm like, what does this mean? So I think tonight I'm going to ask them to give me some guidance.
You are at a pinnacle in your life that just, if you can just get your earthly self straightened out. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Your higher self is really working at getting through to you over here. The mundane persona, the daily self, the person who's here that's just a part of you is here. But the wisest, strongest, most powerful part of you is trying to reach you. All right. And when you allow yourself to be reached, when you do the things you need to do the work, write it down, right? And you don't have to worry about what it means. Do not worry. Just come next week and bring these things with you. And let's let your guides talk to you, your higher self, talk to you and get you clear about that's that, this is this, so much of this and so much of that. And I will say this, the dreams are the first place your guides will try to reach you. It's the easiest place for them to reach humans, because you're not in your way, you're out of your daily life.
You're actually awake. You're awake when you're sleeping, and you're sleeping during the day.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And they can reach you because you are out of the way without scaring you. See, in your day life, if they were to show up and go, okay, da 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 da, they'd scare the heebie-jeebies out of you. They don't want to scare you guys. They do show up for me because they know I know who they are. We remember each other. We got this down. But as you're learning it and through the dreams, you will accelerate so fast. But you've got to write them down and bring them on Tuesdays.
Okay. That's awesome. I feel bad. I don't want to make my higher self work so hard to get through to me.
Well, you're at a point. See, here's what it is. It's not just that. You're at a point in your life where this is you've been called, and it's now. And if you squander this now that you're in, it's going to pass you by, and it's going to slow down.
Okay.
Don't let that happen.
I won't.
Get in there and grab this thing. And there's some stuff there that you need to work out. Some gunk in your life that your higher self is telling you need to work on. So that's okay. Just write it in there and just write it in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next person whose name starts with J, Joy. Joy, that you've got some beautiful hair. Look at that.
She does. Really long hair. Let me look at her. She does.
There it is.
Yeah.
How does my hair look in high def?
You have great hair.
He loves hearing that, Joy.
Yeah, me and Greg Braden.
Yep.
So what's on Joy's mind?
I had probably a typical life. I had the Cinderella life, but it really got into the fairy tale thing after I was 50. My husband had brain cancer, and that triggered our spiritual journey. And at that point, things got really good, and everything was wonderful. Even though I had to do everything and take care of him and manage everything, I just felt like I was guided and things worked out well. But after he died, it's like I'm full of fear. And I don't know why, because I had so much more to do before and so much more to take care of. But now, every little thing that comes up, I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do? And I'm just wondering, can you get that fairy tale life back again?
Okay, what's really interesting about this, Joy, is you had this fairy tale life show up when your husband was diagnosed with brain cancer, right?
Yep.
Now, that's out of the box. Okay, now, Jane, earlier, just for a moment, I'm going to go over to Jane. Jane, this would be an example of not expecting what's coming your way. And I'm not saying brain cancer or anything like that. I'm saying things can come your way that you would never expect, contained all this great feeling and this expansion that Joy is talking about. All right. So I think it's interesting how these things show up. No way in the world would Joy have ever created that scenario. My husband, he's going to get brain cancer so we can expand. Right?
You would think there'd be an easier way.
It just doesn't make sense. But that's, get out of your way. We have to get out of our way and quit expecting all these things. And that's what messes it all up. So we're going to let the guides talk to you about the thrill is gone. What happened to it? Where did it go? When he crossed over, where did it go? And here they go.
It's like he took it with him.
Yeah. Okay, Joy, your spirit guides and angels and higher self are here with us now, and they're going to tell you what that's really all about. And here they go.
The saddest thing of this generation will be that so many people lived a fear-based life. You were fortunate not to have suffered through a fear-based life when one or more of the partners were challenged in other ways. So now you feel fear. You must look at what is triggering the fear, because it is something external to yourself that's causing it. It's always coming from exterior things: family, friends, society, the news, the government. Anything that causes fear in your life is external. So what is it right now that is causing you fear?
That's a question.
Just making everyday decisions.
Okay.
Purchasing a fence, all the things that I've always taken care of. Now it's a big deal, and I try to work through these things, and I do eventually get them done, but I never had anxiety about making decisions.
Okay. I'm going to say this to you because it's coming to me. When your husband was alive and you had this this project, he was your project. You guys,
Yes.
yeah. You had this project that you were so focused on. You knew exactly what you could spin a bunch of plates. You had it all worked out, and you were expanding spiritually. Everything was there. Everything was really working out really well. And then your focus left.
Yeah.
Your husband crossed over. So your focus was now gone. It's like your purpose was gone.
Yep.
Something like that. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to let them talk to her. I see that real clearly, and that's why you can't answer that now. That's you can't focus. And here they go.
It's because of the shift in energy. When one person attempts to accomplish something by themselves, it takes a certain amount of energy. But when two people focus on the same project, it's not double the energy, it's more than double. It's an accelerated degree of clarity, energy, and focus. Now, it feels like your energy has been cut down by more than half, and doubt creeps in every once in a while.
Yes.
So what does she do?
Doubt is coming from inside you, while fear bombards you externally. You must not listen to the fear tactics of daily life, and this will eliminate any doubts you have about making decisions or getting things done. It will also help to ask us to increase your energy.
Have you done that?
No, that's a good idea.
Okay, here's what you need to do, Joy. You need to reconnect is what you need to do. Because you had the connection and then your husband left and then you lost the connection. What you lost is the momentum.
Right.
That's what you lost. You're going to start building the momentum back up by writing into your journal, part 3, what you want to talk to your guides about, what you need their help for. You're going to talk to them like your friend, and you're going to start having dialogue with them. And here's what's going to happen. As you're writing into part 3 and you're just talking to them, you're having this conversation with them in written form, and you're dating it. What's going to happen is intermingled within those lines of writing that you're doing, they're going to start dropping guidance in. You're going to read it, you're going to look back at it and read it and go, I don't remember thinking that. I don't remember writing that. And you're going to see where they've infiltrated your writing, where you're writing, and then there's those little spots. And what you do is you highlight those spots that you don't recognize, because that's them talking to you. You're not just talking to them, they're talking back through automatic writing. That's what that is.
Yeah.
You've never done that, have you?
I've actually done some in the past and, would ask a question and just wait for the answer and just write whatever.
I'm not telling you to write. I don't want you to ask a question.
Okay.
Okay. This is how automatic writing really advances. It's not through asking questions. It's through talking to your guides, writing, and just talking like you did with us tonight. Talk to them about these things and say, I need you guys to give me more energy. I need you to charge me up. I need to get back to that feeling that I had when your husband, whatever his name is, was with me and we had this expansive experience together before he crossed over. And I had this connection to you. Talk to them. Relive what that was as you write it in your journal. And then as you keep writing this, don't just do it one day and forget about it. Do it every single day. Spend 15 minutes every single day writing to your guides. These are not questions. Speaking to them, communicating with them through pen. All right. And you're going to start seeing this stuff show up.
Yeah, in one of the few messages on my Universal channel, they said, "You lazy."
You're right.
Okay. But you're hurting more than you're lazy now, right?
I think so. Yeah, you feel kind of lost, and then you get distracted when you're lost.
Yeah. So your talking board is good. I want you to use this more and start writing. And when they see you doing this, when you work with your talking board, they will see that you're not lazy, that you're definitely focused, and you're giving this the attention it deserves. All right. Just start doing that. You know, everything I'm going to tell you guys is easier than you thought. It's all easier than you thought. Your dreams, you remember your dreams? Write your dreams into part 3. Don't worry about what they mean. Bring them on Tuesdays. Your guides will talk to you about what they mean. All right?
Right.
And solve. You guys, not only will you have it solved, but you're going to have fun. When I went to dream classes, I loved my dream classes. I had a blast. And the dreams that I was having they got more and more amazing. It wakes you up. This is all about waking back up again. What's that one thing instead of sleepwalking through your life, right?
Yeah.
What was that phrase, Ray?
Sleepwalking. The one I saw recently said, "Don't try to wake them up."
Yeah.
Because they're on a mission. They're walking towards something.
Yeah.
They're getting guidance somehow.
What you guys are is you're waking up out of a slumber, and it's exciting when you first make this connection. Joy knows she made that connection with the